Welcome. Welcome in. Welcome to the live. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Apologies, I did have to clean the lens earlier and I just had to adjust myself here as well. However, we are good to go. All right, there we are. So let's go ahead and get started here. We've got quite a bit to get through. Now, I do have the different piles as always. So we have the wonderful and lovely pink quartz or rose quartz, however you want to call it. So that's that one right there. We have pyrite as well here. So that's pyrite. And then we also have the hematite right here as well. All right, raw hematite. So we're going to get started. We're going to see what each and every pile has in terms of a life lesson to get through or to overcome with success, right? These lovely cards here, I would say, they are going to let us know in terms of what is actually going on with each and every individual. I'm just going to switch this out over because it's not supposed to be like that. There we go. And let's go ahead here. Let's get started. All right, so pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. You are welcome to choose all 3, 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3, completely up to you. And we will go ahead and see what is going on for the first pile here. Oh, I saw that, but I'm not going to pay attention too much there. Just a second. Let's take a look. Pile 1, what would you like to talk about? What's your lesson? There we go. Pile 2, what is your lesson? The ones that chose pyrite. So the ones that will choose pyrite, what is the lesson, life lesson to overcome for themselves? There it is. I see it. I already saw it. It's right there. Do I? No. Okay. And pile 3, what's going on for you? Pile 3, what is happening for you? Pile 3, please and thank you. What's happening for the ones that chose hematite? So for those of you that chose hematite, what is your lesson? What is your message? Okay, let's take a look. Pile 3, please. Pile 3, what's going on for them? I will. I did feel that. All right. So let's get started here. We'll see what each and every pile has to deal with. These are quite the lovely cards as well. They tell us in terms of what house, what planet, what placement, things of that nature is being affected and whatever else. So just give me a second here. Let me get everything done for you. I think one of them is slightly off, just a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead. Pile 1, what does it pertain to? For pile 1, there it goes. There it goes. It went into a little bit of water for me, which is interesting. Very interesting. All of that went into water, actually. Let me just fix that for you guys. Just a second here. There we are. I do have my water bowl with me. That's funny. That's actually funny that it went into that area. But that's okay. That's okay. It just means that the message is all the more clear and precise and whatever the case is. All right. Pile 2, let's see for you. What does it pertain to for the ones that chose pyrite? What's the message? For the ones that chose pyrite, there it goes. And pile 3, for those of you that chose hematite, there it goes. All right. So many planets, some signs, not many houses. There are houses in this, but apparently not. Not this time around. All right. Next up is going to be the tarot. We're going to go ahead and see what is going on with each and every pile here. This one is Spirit Song. So pile 1 will receive Spirit Song and we'll talk about it. We'll see what is going on with pile 1 here. So let's take a look for those of you that chose Rose Quartz or the pink quartz, however you want to call it. So let's go ahead here. Let's see what else is going on. What else is happening for pile 1? What's the message? According to the karmic, there we go, according to the karmic lesson that they require to overcome here. Let's take a look. What is the message for pile 1, please? What's the message for pile 1? Is there still anything else that would like to come out and flip out? Whatever the case. Is there anything else with this? Kind of no, but I want to give it one more shot. Yes, okay. All right, moving on to the next pile. let's take a look here. You guys are going to get the Guardian of the Night. So these are interesting as well. So we'll see what these ones have to say here. For those of you that chose the Pyrite, let's take a look what the message is. Pyrite, please. Those that chose Pyrite, what's the lesson about? What's the message about? What's going on with pile 2, please? What's going on with pile 2, please? What's happening with, I see them. What's happening with pile 2, please? What's going on for pile 2? What is happening for pile 2, please? Is there anything else that needs to be spoken about in pile? I see it. In pile 2, way too many, but I will take that. It is a little bit of an issue, and this one here under my hand, I will also take. All right, that's it for that. Moving along. The next one is this one here. It's called Landscape Tarot. So that's the one right there. They've all been shuffled previously to me going live, so there's no issue with that. So those of you that chose Hematite, what is the karmic lesson here to consider, or maybe even advice or anything of that nature? What is in regards to the third pile? Those that chose Hematite, the third pile, what is it in regards to? What's going on in pile 3, please? What is happening in pile 3? Please and thank you. What's happening in pile 3, please? I see it. Anything else for pile 3, please? Is there anything else that would like to say hello for pile 3? Anything for pile 3? Please and thank you. There it is. There it is. That's it for that. Anything else? Pile 3. There it is. Perfect. Okay, moving on. This last portion will actually be something from the universe in terms of what to keep yourself focused on. Okay, what to keep yourself focused on. So, what's the focus in pile 1? What is the focus in pile 1, please? Up, up, up. Yeah, I see it. Is there anything else to focus on in pile 1? There it goes. My goodness. Okay, wonderful. Any focus in pile 2? What's going on for pile 2? Those of you that chose pile 2, what's the focus? There it is. Is there anything else for pile 2 to focus on? Is there anything else in terms of like discovery? Yeah. And finally, pile 3, what is for you? Pile 3, what's going on? What's your focus? There it is. Advice, and that's it. We're done. Advice from the animal spirit guides. Advice from the animal spirit guides. What is it? What is it for each and every pile? What is the advice? Up, 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 up. What is the advice for each and every pile here? According to each and every pile. Pile 1 advice. There it is. Pile 2 advice. There it is. Pile 3 advice. There it is. Okay, let's get started. So, I'm just going to put them on the side for the moment, and we will go one by one. And we'll see what is going on. So there's pyrite. There we go. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's get started. Okay, for those of you that chose pile 1, which is the rose quartz, let's see what the lesson may be or what the, advice may be. So let's take a look here. We do have work-life balance. So that may be required in order for you to settle up for yourself. Believe in yourself. Your mind is playing tricks on you. Okay. I honestly already have a person who goes beyond their own boundaries in order to be more amicable with other individuals or something of that nature. This is an individual that does require to have a little bit of extra pizzazz within their solar plexus. Heart chakra too, sure, with the green. But there is a requirement to kind of put in equal give and take. Excuse me. an equal give and take type of thing here. Let's see what it actually is involving, though. Work-life balance can just mean exactly that, literally work-life balance. There's an individual that needs to kind of put a little bit of a barrier between the two, or it's about something that an individual is overdoing, overstepping, and then they're kind of being depleted afterwards, it seems like. So this specific individual on my board right now just needs a little bit of a healthy dose in rewiring their own boundaries, right? Their own standards, things of that nature. But let's take a look in terms of what's going on here overall, because I do want to see what it pertains to. Remember, reconsider. Now is not the time to do it. That is the South Node. South Node talks about things that were. So things that were are no longer applicable to the things that are or the things that will be. It seems like for you here, you don't require to rehash or repeat the same karmic lesson or karmic contract like you had before, where it was always give and never receive, potentially. Or rather, there was always an extreme in something. It's either an extreme with a person who didn't consider you, or an extreme with a person who did consider you way too much and then suffocated you. Whatever it is, okay, whatever this balance is that is supposed to be incorporated, it's no longer applicable. Your past is no longer applicable to your present, is basically what's going on. This is something that you would be able to overcome for yourself if you start to set better, I want to say better boundaries, but it's more like standards, or explained where you're coming from. So this way people kind of understand that there are some things that should not be crossed with you. It's something like that. Okay. So let's keep going here. Let's take a look. We do have the 10 of Swords. Ooh, betrayals. We have the Magician. We have the 4 of Pentacles. I've got the 6 of Swords, which is good, by the way. The Traveler, very good. That's the Fool. And then the Emperor, that's lovely too, by the way. You get to kind of call the shots after this. Yeah, yeah, that's basically what this is. You could have been in a situation, now this is any situation, that you may have thought, if I give more, then things will work out the way that I want them to, or things will work out really nicely. You kind of had a plan already in motion here. That's okay. That's not a problem. It's okay to have goals and plans. What's going on here, though, is that somehow you were doing the work of 2, 3, 5 people at once, maybe even 6. Anyway, it could be in a project, right? You were in charge of a project and everybody just dumped everything into your lap to be done. And then you yourself were kind of like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get this done? Or, oh my goodness, I'm the only one getting this finished, whatever, right? And it forced you into a position not to have any balance for yourself here. Almost like somebody just like shoved everything onto you and then just bounced. It's very strange with this one. The remember part in this card specifically is to tell you that before you reconsider bringing in something old that made you go against your own boundaries and standards, you required to reconsider that offer that may come your way. There is something going on with that too, because it quite literally tells me that a person kind of manipulated a specific situation here. It came out very badly, 10 of Swords. And then they just left. It's almost like they left you with then the mess to be cleaned up or something like that. But you wouldn't have to clean up this mess if you didn't get into it to begin with. Now, that's the contract. That's the lesson. The lesson here is do not overextend yourself when there's no need to. There really isn't. Okay, that's the lesson. Believing in yourself and the mind playing tricks on you, that is very, very interesting to come out, because it's almost like telling you, hey, you've got standards, upkeep them, and don't allow even your thoughts to sabotage you, or or people around you to sabotage you, to bring your bar lower than what it actually is. So your standards here are going to be very important. And there is a specific thing about the South Node just saying that it was, but it doesn't have to be. So it was a pretty unfortunate situation, but it doesn't have to be. You're allowed to move forward for yourself and almost like recalibrate, rewire your life moving forward as the emperor. You're allowed to become an emperor. You're allowed to become an emperor at any time in your life. But this emperor specifically is asking you to believe in yourself and uphold your balance, uphold your boundaries, uphold your standards. That's what this emperor is asking you to do, right? So let's see, in this case, what's best to hold on to as you're going through this process, or as you're going through this revelation or reflection, assessment about yourself. If you're giving way too much than necessary, many of the times when you shouldn't, things of that nature. So let's take a look here. Like, don't cross your own boundaries for the sake of other people's convenience, is what's going on here. Be a emperor yourself too, right? So let's take a look. Don't forget yourself. So we've got insight is the fruit of wisdom. Keep a learning attitude. That's good. And resilience, quite the emperor. Resilience is your source of strength in challenges. Yeah. Yeah. In order to upkeep these boundaries, you do require to be an emperor for yourself. Male, female, doesn't matter. It's just someone who says one thing, just sticks to it, and doesn't bend. Okay, so for example, let's say your work is telling you to, go overtime or above and beyond for them, and they don't give you anything in return. I'm sorry, that's a no-no. That doesn't work with an emperor. An emperor is the type of person who, yes, they put effort in as long as it's beneficial for all and also themselves. They don't give themselves out to many different people. They just don't do this. Emperor types don't do this. They are go-getters, they are fire starters, they get things going and all that. But they, most of the time, the reason they are an emperor in their castle is because they also consider themselves in the equation. So that's what's going on here. You're allowed to consider yourself from whatever this was, this unfortunate situation, because there was one. You're allowed to now focus on yourself, focus on your life, focus on your own boundaries, and then move forward, kind of thing. Calm. So, the turtle wisdom teaches us about walking our path in peace and sticking to it with determination and serenity. The emperor does that as well. You may be encouraged to take a break in your busy life and look around or within you for more grounded, long lasting solutions. Yeah. So you may require to kind of reflect on what boundaries or standards that work with you internally, people may be crossing, or people may be pushing, or you may be allowing your arm to be twisted the opposite way by their words potentially, or something like that. There's something very, very important here where you require to just stand on your own 2 feet, bring up those standards for yourself, bring out those boundaries, bring out that balance. Consider yourself in this as well, in this new beginning that you have here. And be kind of like calm. It is a calmness, but it's like a quiet strength. It's a quiet strength. That's what it really is here. In the meantime, yep, keep learning more things, keep learning about people, learn about when you say no, how do they react? Learn about those. Not that you have to always please them for them to, for you to say yes all the time, and you haven't learned anything then. But when you start to put up your boundaries, when you start to say no to different things, that's when you start learning their behaviors as well. That's when you start learning their true colors as well. It's something like that. Okay. So be very aware about upkeeping your own boundaries, your own standards. What it used to be is no longer there. And if somebody old comes in here, because it is possible here, right? Somebody old that was not too kind with you and was breaking your back by bending it too much, you may require to remember what was happening and reconsider the actual offer that is being given to you this time around. Do it with a calm fashion, do it with resilience in mind, and try to see if that person has actually changed their ways for real in order for you to kind of let down your guard, let down your boundaries for them. If not, then not. Then just upkeep them. End of story. End of story. You can't have people around you who are basically confusing who you are. You can't have those types of people around you. That's not how an emperor works. An emperor works in a place or from a place that is confident. They have a sense of confident conviction within them in order to put up those healthy boundaries. They are healthy because they also protect the emperor. Those boundaries are not there just for poops and giggles, okay? They're there because the emperor realizes that it's important to them in order to move forward as well and have a good life ahead. So if you find that it's a person, a group of people, or whatever that are kind of, um, trying to tap dance on your, red carpet spine, then it seems like you're going to have to bring in a little bit of balance into that situation. Okay. All right. Moving along here, even if it was a place of work, if it's a place of work, let's say people expect you to do more than, well, a you require either a balance in exchange. So if they expect you to do more than, you require to ask for an exchange for that. Let's say, you're working after hours and they're expecting you to do it for free. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Whenever let's say your work contract says you leave at 5 o'clock, that doesn't invite you to keep doing the same, like to do the job at home. That's not what it's telling you. The contract is telling you, hey, 5 o'clock is the end of your day. Go home, go relax. That's what the contract is telling you. And if a boss is overstepping that contract even, then you are allowed to remind them. Okay, in order to keep your own peace, right? All right, let's go ahead here, pile two, those of you with pyrite. So let's see what pyrite has to talk about. Pyrite we have, a mind trick. Okay, pyrite individuals, you could have the life lesson of overthinking. Way too much. Overthinking or overanalyzing, overindulging in things, potentially. We will see what is actually going on, but let's see what area is happening here. Idealization, confusion, and sacrifice. Yeah, that's a trick of the mind, apparently. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, this one's going to be hefty. I'll talk about it, though. I will talk about it. Um, Before I even get into the tarot and everything, I will tell you one specific thing. Do not be tricked to sacrifice yourself for others. That's specific here. You have a life contract that's kind of been following you around to always be giving of yourself to the point of depletion. The other one, the first one, was more about, hey, put in some boundaries. This one is almost like you are brainwashed. You are brainwashed by traditions. You are brainwashed by expectations. There's something going on here that does not require to be here. It does not require to be here. Things even from previous relationships, previous childhoods, previous households, grandparents, whatever this is, friends, school, whatever this is, you do not require to uphold whatever type of pattern was given to you by those types of situations or individuals. You don't have to do this. You do not have to keep upholding this tradition. Okay. I'm going to call it a tradition, but it's a lack of a better word. It's a program. It's definitely a program. It's an ideal. It's somebody else's ideal, and you're just continuing it. That's the problem here. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what's going on. Hello, welcome, welcome. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the past, judgment, relapsing, the Emperor. We have the Nine of Wands. We've got the Hermit. Okay, I'll talk about this because it came out and I have to talk about this. Some of you had a lacking father figure. Let's talk about it because it's here. The Emperor is definitely here. It's either a lacking role figure with, maybe it's a female presence, maybe it's a female presence that you guys had lacking in your life or whatever. Uh, it was on and off. It wasn't consistent. It was inconsistent. Be careful. There is a pattern here, contract, whatever you want to call this, a karmic lesson about a supplement of a figure that was missing in your own past and trying to find that same thing again here. Therefore, continuing something that you never had in your own life, but you're looking for it now. Okay, so, all right, here's the thing. It's easy, right? It's easy to kind of not have something in your life, something supportive, and then look for it outside of yourself in another individual. There's a problematic thing here because there's two sides to this. One is okay, I'll talk about it from a different type of standpoint, and then I'll go from there. Sorry, it's just a lot going on right now. Okay, so one thing is, if you had a figure in your childhood that was slightly missing or wasn't really all that involved, then you're trying to find that replacement in another person currently, but they probably don't fit the puzzle piece that you're trying to find here, or they do fit the puzzle piece and it creates more problems for you in life because it's like a repetition of the same thing that you saw when you were young. And even though you don't want the same thing, the pattern, the program, the imprint is still here to repeat the same thing, especially with the Judgment card. So, as an example, I'll give an example because it's easier to explain it. Okay. Let's say you had a figure that wasn't, they weren't all that 100%. Okay. They just weren't. They weren't really all that accountable or dependable or reliant or, so what happens is you're going to find those types of individuals, attract those types of individuals again because you haven't let go of that fear within yourself to end up with a person like that, a person who was lacking back in the day. You're dreading that, you don't want that, but therefore your fear is it's addressing that anyway. It's attracting that regardless due to the fact that you're afraid of it or you're dreading it. Let's just say it that way. Let's say you'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, well, I'm never going to be like my mom or I'm never going to be like my dad." But then you turn out like them because you've been repeating that all the time. And the universe doesn't really hear no, it hears the main topic. And the main topic is like my mom, like my dad. And what happens is, sorry guys, what happens is that pattern, that imprint is still, it's still active. This is a little bit specific. It's like it's been creeping up on the person. It's been a slow subconscious kind of repetition. There is confusion there. It's specific. Idealization is there. Sacrifice is there. What should you actually keep in mind here during this, all of this? We've got discovery, discover the treasures within, follow your passion. We've got peace, find inner peace in moments of stillness. Yeah, stillness is specific here. This one is specifically asking you guys to look into unhealthy imprints or patterns that you may have dealt with from your own past here. Mind tricks are specific. So basically, let's say verbal abuse or something of that nature. That's in a mind trick. That's still there. And try to figure out why you feel responsible for everyone. Was it because you didn't have a proper parent figure that they were responsible? So then they threw that onto your shoulders when you were young, and therefore you have this tendency to kind of like be a mom or a dad for everyone, whatever this is, right? The mind trick can be anything. It's almost like a trick to make you either end up with the same person like you saw in your childhood, or to end up completely on the opposite spectrum of always giving in 100% without actually having any time for yourself here. That's why there's sacrifice. You're sacrificing yourself for the betterment of another, because it's possible you weren't shown a balanced image when you were young. This is a repetitive thing. This is something that just keeps happening over and over. You may be in the place of saying something along the lines of, um why do I have to keep learning with a specific energy that comes my way? Why do I have to keep training adults in my life here? There's something deeper here going on, and it actually does go all the way back to your childhood here, when you had individuals in your life that were supposed to be supportive. They were supposed to be mentoring you in a good fashion, but it's almost like they just flipped the table and walked away, kind of thing. It's a lack of teaching from this emperor here. Lack of teaching. I don't know if one of those parents was very in and out in the family. Like they were really like back and forth in that family. They weren't a stable character, stable individual here. So therefore, you attract unstable people as well here in some way, shape, or form, because that pattern, that imprint has not let go yet. But you also require to realize that you'll be able to close the cycle in this contract of some kind when you look at it without any emotion, you acknowledge it, and you release it, giving yourself that chance for inner peace, true peace, inner peace and outer peace, right? You'll even be able to recognize individuals who want you to sacrifice everything for them, and you'll quickly be able to tell them no, thank you, and you'll get onto this more peaceful pathway for yourself. Let's see what's going on here. We've got exploration, so that's discovery, I believe. Yeah. So we have, if you have become bored with your life, you have the creative power to stir things up and revitalize everything. You can do this by starting new projects, setting new goals, and making spiritual connections. And the other one is independence. You are being encouraged to develop balance between independence and time of togetherness. This also indicates that you would greatly benefit from a profound journey of self discovery. Again, discovery. Learn to enjoy time spent with yourself. Yeah, there's an individual here that just needs to really sit out a little bit for themselves in life. Just overall, go hermit for a little bit. Okay, go hermit for a little bit, and really question where this imprint came from that they keep attracting unreliable, unstable people. Where is that coming from? I can tell you exactly where it's coming from, though. It is from a childhood place, something or someone that wasn't really all there for you. But everybody's situation and everybody's, person, who the person was, or wasn't for them. It really depends on, it just depends on the individual experience. So it was either maybe it was your grandfather, maybe it was your grandmother, maybe it was your uncle, your aunt, your parent, one of your parents, if it was a same sex couple parenting thing, then it was that, okay? But one of these individuals was just not, they weren't present. They weren't present with what they made, and they made you, and they were supposed to be responsible for you and the family that they created and all that stuff, and they weren't. And you're here, you know, sacrificing things of yourself and also not getting anything, not getting anywhere in the meantime. And you're unsure, you could be unsure where that's coming from. You keep trying and trying and trying to find, let's say, a great person, a stable person for yourself, but you can't. But that's because you need to close the cycle with that specific adult in your childhood, right? Adult, that was supposed to be responsible, they were not. You need to close that part with them. Even if it's, you meditate a little bit, you go hermit a little bit, you meditate with yourself, you tell this person in spirit, hey, I'm really tired of upkeeping this pattern with you. I don't want to anymore, and I feel like I deserve better. I feel like I deserve peace, and I feel like I deserve some exploration in life. So you can tell them this. Even if this person is deceased for a while, you can still tell them this. Or you can do it the opposite way. You can do it the physical way. You can meet up with them and let them know, hey, listen, there are a couple things that, I needed you to be there for me when I was a child. You really didn't, you really didn't own up to that. And I just want you to know that I want to let this go. I just want you to know that I'm forgiving you, but I'm forgiving you because I need to move on with my own life. That's what you're telling this individual, if it's in person. If not, you can tell the exact same thing in your thoughts, send it out, and start distancing yourself from that dread or that fear of attracting another person just like you were learning from in the past, right? Oh dear. They could have also been feeding you some lies too here, so be careful with that. They could have been like maybe manipulating a situation for their own benefit, and they never considered the family benefit or something like that. This was a tricky individual. Okay, you had a tricky adult in your childhood, and you are required now to really look look to the past, see where the discrepancies or disagreements were, and start letting that go for yourself, for your own peace of mind. For your own peace of mind. Hello and welcome. Welcome in. I apologize. I'm looking at the desk as I'm reading. I apologize. I will look at the chat from time to time. But hello and welcome. All right. So we do have the hematite as the last choice, which is responsible for, balancing out moods, emotions, things of that nature. But we'll see what is actually going on. We have positive deeds, and then we have work on the sacral. So here's the deal with this one. You may feel a little bit stagnated. Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. You may feel a little bit stagnated in your own life because you might not be doing anything, actually. Um, there's something about revitalizing the sacral chakra by doing positive things for others. Um, even if that's volunteering, or if it's some kind of some kind of service that you might offer to a person or something like that. I'm thinking like massage, something like that, whatever the case is. This is specific. It's almost like in order to reactivate your sacral chakra, you need to get yourself moving. Positive deeds. This is not positive thinking. This is positive doing. Okay, positive doing. So if you like, I'm literally picturing a person at like an animal shelter or something like that, or even like a human shelter, right? Helping out, volunteering there, or something of that nature. Okay, let's take a look though. Let's see what's going on here. We do have spirituality to the ultimate experience, trusting your second knowledge, resulting from indecision or about. Okay, give me a second. What's this one? Up, up, up. Defend, accept, let your feelings tell you how to. You're going to get more fulfillment in life. Oh, that's what it is. You're going to get more fulfillment in life when you start doing good things for others. Good deeds for others are going to actually take you really far in life. Now, the one thing that I do want to mention here is don't go overboard. That's one thing. But this lesson is different. This life lesson, this karmic lesson, whatever, something you can learn from, is that if you feel stagnant in your life, you require to kind of take control of it. Take control of it, do some things on the side for yourself, do some things for others. And this will kind of allow you to feel fulfilled, better fulfilled, something of that nature. Um, there's something else here. I feel like there's something else here. Let's take a look though. I do feel like there's something else. Four of Swords. Yeah, well, there's that's, sitting around doing nothing. Four of Swords. We've got Knight of Wands. Yeah, take some kind of action. I've got the Six of Cups. Oh, you could be volunteering with children. That is possible as well. Maybe maybe a teacher's assistant or something of that nature. And then we've got the Five of Cups. Let's see here. Bravery and self-love. Yeah, this is going to be very important here. Uh Here's the thing. Your sacral chakra may also be a little bit out of whack because of the person that you recently had exchanges with. You need to rebalance that by doing positive deeds again for yourself to get yourself back into a motivated space for yourself. Okay, hold on. Let me really explain this. Okay, so as an example, once upon a time you were with someone who it didn't work out. Okay, it didn't work out because there's a disappointment here. Obvious. Once upon a time you were with a person that it didn't work out. Then what happened was you got in a depressive state, and rather than getting out of that depressive state, oh my goodness, you decided to stay in it. Now the issue is that your sorry, your sacral, maybe your solar too, maybe a little bit of your confidence levels have been, kind of dwindling downwards or whatever. But It seems like your sacral is non-responsive at this time because you are keeping yourself, you're kind of keeping yourself stagnant on your own based on this person, and their inconsistency, and this thing about being unreliable or whatever, whoever this person was. Um, that's their thing. That's not your thing. Just because they were complacent in life doesn't mean that you have to be. I do have to say that very specifically here somehow. Just because they were lethargic, they were apathetic, they were indifferent, doesn't mean that you have to be that way in life yourself here. It's almost like you took on their unwillingness to live or something like that. It's very strange here, but it's coming through very, very strongly. So instead of becoming the same type of individual like them, I mean, they're gone now. I'll be honest with you guys, they are gone now. It is the Five of Cups. But instead of becoming like them, wistless like them, lifeless like them, then your specific duty right now is to re reintroduce yourself into society, or reintroduce yourself into some kind of different hobbies, whatever this is. It's like you're supposed to keep your creativeness or your creative side, because that is the sacral, it's about creativity. You're supposed to keep it active. You're supposed to keep that active. Whatever that other person was, if they were a depressing person and negative person, you're supposed to kind of send those energies, back to sender kind of thing. Like they're not part of you. They never were part of you, right? They just kind of temporarily sat around for the time that you were with this person, as an example. But now it's time to basically get back on your horse and go forward, move forward. Reinventing is one word that's coming in here. That's true. You could reinvent yourself in the form of, maybe you're going to change your wardrobe. Maybe you're going to change your hairstyle. Maybe you're just going to, just change something about yourself, right? A little bit, just to kind of do some nice things for yourself. So this way, the sacral chakra isn't, I mean, I will call it, isn't dead. Okay. It's not lifeless. Okay. So if you feel like, you're in a little bit of a, I will call it, you're in a little bit of a depressive streak at this time. It doesn't have to be because of another person. It could just be because of a situation that didn't work out, because there is the Five of Cups. This is depression for me specifically. It's got this, it conveys a message of, it didn't work out the way I expected. I'm really bummed out about it now. It's something like that. But that doesn't mean you have to continue it. So this over here, the sacral, is asking you to do something small. If it's something small, it's something small, it's fine. Volunteering is one of those bigger things, right, that I mentioned. But if it's something small, just like, I don't know, like changing your hairstyle is a small thing. It's a small self-love thing, and it's actually the card here that's talking about self-love. So this is something about, if you've been in a little bit of a downward spiral, try to do some small things that help you pick yourself up again, that help you grasp at that, protruding, what do you call that? Edge, so you can finally start climbing upwards again. You can finally start climbing towards being happy again, or whatever it is here. Okay, it's very specific with this one. It's about, uh, just because it wasn't a good outcome doesn't mean that you need to stay lifeless in that outcome or something like that. You've got your own life to lead. You've got your own life to live. It seems like you were pretty optimistic, actually, at the beginning here. It does look like that. It looks like you were a pretty optimistic person over here. But then something happened, and it kind of puts you in a downward spiral. And you're not supposed to be there anymore. You're not supposed to be there anymore. Even your feelings don't want to be there anymore. Like with the moon here, your emotional well-being here, I don't feel like it wants to be there anymore. I feel like yeah, it wants to accept the situation, but then it's like defending yourself, you know? Defending yourself. This is specific. This is finding a way to be of service. Now, of service can be to yourself or it can be to others as well. You could have been of service to a person who just didn't care that you were trying. That could be where the disappointment is, but you're allowed to let that individual go. You're allowed to kind of reassess it, reflect on it, realize that they were kind of in and out in your life anyway, um and you're allowed to kind of let that go. You're allowed to say, okay, it didn't work out, I take that as a loss, but I'm still going to move forward. You're still allowed to take on a good part of the Knight of Wands for yourself, where you're keeping yourself a little bit active. This way, it'll take you out of this this funk, this sulking that you're in here. Okay. Face the unknown with bravery, trust your steps. And then we've got, you will find great power in focusing on the positive aspects of yourself, that which makes you indefinably unique and beautiful. There is deep wells of untapped inner power in letting go of negative self-talk. Ta-da! This is a little bit of a like it's a pretty hard read for for pile 3, because there is an individual who does feel like they, no matter what they do, they can never get it right. I do see that here, but I do want to mention that it feels like that wasn't your cross to bear, actually. I don't know why I have to say it like that, but I get the feeling that you took this on onto yourself from another individual and their sense of mindset, or just that, a certain a certain situation didn't work, and then it kind of put you back a few steps. But that's not what's supposed to happen here. If you want to get out of this, do small things, but small things for yourself, small positive deeds, right? That's a good thing. And the actual card with the self-love talks about, speaking kindly to yourself. It does talk about this as well. So if you want to start small, start giving yourself compliments. Okay. That's how it starts. Then after that, start doing nice things for yourself. Okay. Then after that, start going out into society again, integrating yourself into society again, and speaking with people more proactively, things of that nature. And eventually you're going to come to this, I almost want to call it a routine, but it's not a routine. You're going to come to this state of existence for yourself where you have regained that person, that happy person that you used to be previous to this situation and previous to this negative person that you met into. There's something going on with that. Now, please be aware, it will not be 100% again like before. Okay. You will not be the same type of person like you used to be, because you used to be a little bit more, childlike in nature, right? All that. You can still be childlike in nature. There's no problem with this. But the only thing that's changed is the fact that you will be more mindful of other people's problems and how they are not yours. So that's how you will come out of this. You will come out of this in a way where you'll start to realize that some individuals' personal inner problems are not yours to take on and continue for them. You'll understand it that way. You'll see what I mean. When you get to the point where you are finally done with being unkind to yourself, you're going to get to the point where you will then start to recognize these types of stagnant energies very, very quickly. Very quickly. And you will also defend yourself, rightfully so, by listening to your own intuition and listening to your to those red flags the first time around, not the third, not the fifth, the first. And you'll start to be a little bit different, a little bit braver, sure. You'll start to be, you'll still be happy. Don't get me wrong. You'll still be happy in your life. It'll just be a little bit of a different type of happy. It'll be a happy that you don't have to take on other people's poo poo onto yourself anymore. It'll be that type of happy. It will be a survivor happy, no longer a victim of life. Okay? All right. I wish you guys all the very best. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it all the time. I really do. I hope you guys have a super wonderful day ahead, wherever you are. Maybe it's nighttime for you guys, then have a good rest. And I will be here, not tomorrow, so please keep that in mind. I've had a little bit of a switch in my own scheduling for the time being until the middle of March. So I will be doing lives Sunday through Wednesday instead of Monday through Thursday. But Monday through Thursday is still going to, I'm still going to upkeep that after this little switch, temporary switch. So for the time being, until the middle of March, it will be Sunday to Wednesday rather than Monday to Thursday. Okay, just letting you guys know. Have a great one for now. Thank you again, and take it easy. Take care. Bye-bye.